Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Hi, this is Leo Laporte, and this is my Tech Guy Podcast. This show originally aired on the Premier Networks on Saturday, October 5th, 2019. This is episode 1632. Enjoy. The Tech Guy Podcast is brought to you by Capterra. Find the right tools to make an informed software decision for your business. Visit Capterra's free website at capterra.com/techguy. And by Plex. With Plex, you can organize and stream your personal collection of movies, TV shows, music, and photos anywhere on any device. Plex is offering Twit listeners a 30-day free trial of PlexPass, which gives you access to all the premium features. Go to plex.tv/twit and use the code TWIT to start your free trial today. And by LastPass, a personal password manager and identity solution for your business all in one. You only need one master password, and LastPass remembers the rest. Visit lastpass.com/twit to learn more. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the Tech Guy. Yet time to talk computers, the internet, home theater, digital photography. We got your smartphones, got the new Apple iPhone, got your smart watches, got all that jazz. 8888 Ask Leo is my phone number if you want to talk about it. I'd love to talk high tech with you. 888-827-5536. I'm here to counsel you. I'm the Dr. Laura of computing. I'm here to make you feel better about your pathetic hardware. No, I'm here to tell you that your hardware is not your enemy. It's your friend, even though it's mean and nasty and breaks all the time. I'm here to help you find new hardware. I'm here to spend your money. I'm here to save you money. I'm here to do it all. 8888 Ask Leo. We do have a website, techguylabs.com. The phone number's there, but also a link to our chat room, irc.twit.tv. Our new forums. Forums are back, baby. Do you remember forums? It's funny, some of the people in the forum are saying, this is kind of like the old days of BBSs. You remember those? You probably know. Oh, you have to be of a certain age to remember dialing in with your phone line. And you'd get online. I'm old enough, I remember actually picking up the handset on my Western Electric phone and jamming it into rubber cups. That was the modem. And then, Mom would pick up the other end of on the extension and go, "Mom, get off the line! I'm on the internet." Well, we didn't call it internet, did we? I'm on the BBS, the bulletin board system. So, but they're backing away, and I think some of this is because we all abandoned, didn't we? We all abandoned all of the stuff, the good stuff that we had started I started at BBS in the 80s, but in the 90s and later, where the internet came along and all of a sudden Twitter and Facebook and Reddit and took over from these things. These centralized forums and mini blogs, that became, where you hung out. But I think there's a little backlash, isn't there, now, to these big guys, because they're kind of, I don't know. It's like saying, I'd like to talk to my friends in the middle of Grand Central Station, please. It's just, they're busy. There's a lot going on. So we started a forum last week. It's done very well. It's like the old days of forums or BBSs where you go, you create an account, and you say hi to people. And it's not a lot of people. It's maybe 1,000 other people. And it's kind of people you get to know over time and chat with them. And you can post pictures. And you can do the same stuff you would do on Facebook or Reddit or even Twitter, but it's a little more, it's a small community. Instead of Grand Central Station, it's Petticoat Junction. It's a little place where you can hang out. The address for that is community.techguylabs.com. Again, remember, Tech Guy Labs is the radio show website. techguylabs.com. So, big event. Microsoft had some fun, didn't they? Wednesday morning. Bright and early for us on the West Coast. It was 7 a.m. And, it's interesting because we think we know everything ahead of time now, don't we? We've got the leaks. Like we know that Google's going to have an event in a couple of weeks to announce a new Pixel phone. We've seen it. We know all about it. There's no surprises here. Even Apple, which is famous for its secrecy, nothing surprising. We knew what the iPhone 11 was going to look like, and no surprises. And we thought we knew everything Microsoft was going to announce at its Surface event on Wednesday. We knew there was going to be a new Surface Pro 7. That's their tablet that you attach a keyboard to. It's kind of a neat thing. A lot of people like it. We knew there'd be a new Microsoft laptop. We were hoping, and we got our wish. We were hoping that it wouldn't be fabric covered. The Surface laptop for the last few years has had a synthetic fabric called Alcantara on it, on its keyboard. It's a little weird to have you put your wrists on fabric, but this was kind of their idea to be different. And we were hoping there would be a choice, and yes, there is. There's also a choice in processors, and we're going to talk more about this at some point. Intel's been so dominant for the last decade in computer processors. But AMD, which has always been alongside, kind of running on parallel rails, making processors that work the same as Intel's, they come and go. For a while, they really threatened Intel. And Intel had to really step up their game. Then Intel dominated again for the last 15 years, maybe almost 20 years. But Intel's gotten a little complacent, maybe had some stumbles, and all of a sudden AMD's coming back. And the best evidence of this is Microsoft. One of their new Surface laptops is running on an AMD Ryzen, R-Y-Z-E-N chip instead of an Intel Core chip, which is, there are a lot of computers running on AMDs, so it's not surprising. But this is a big company to do that. So that was good. And we thought, we were complacent. We've seen it all. We've had it all. Then and one thing we kind of heard rumors about, we thought they might announce a dual screen laptop. We'd heard rumors about this, the Project Andromeda. They had even shown it to an employees meeting some months ago. So we thought, we know all about that. Nothing new. It's called the Surface Neo, and won't be coming out till next Christmas. Not this Christmas. 2020 Christmas. What? It's kind of unusual for a company to announce something that far ahead. Even Apple rarely announced something more than a year in advance. But I think they want people to get ready for the idea that you might have a notebook that opens up like a book. It's not a folding screen like we've seen from Samsung, where the screen has a crease down the middle. And I think that's not a great way to do it. It's really two screens. There's a hinge. And the idea is you have two different things going on. It's more like a book. You could even have 2 pages in a book, which would be kind of cool. Or you could be answering email on one page and listening to music on the other. I think it's not a bad idea, this dual screen, this idea, the Surface Neo. They also mentioned, although they didn't give us a lot of details, a new version of Windows called 10X that's designed for the Neo. That's cool. But again, nothing like, wow. We didn't expect that. We expected that. In fact, we were doing a live coverage of the event, and after they announced that, we said, let's do a commercial. They're done. Because the host of the event, Panos Panay, started sounding like he was kind of starting to wrap up. We went to a commercial, came back, and wait a minute, what? One more thing. They're topping Steve Jobs. They announced, well, Microsoft doesn't want to call it a phone, but they're back in the phone business. Again, will be, not till Christmas 2020, a 2-screen phone called the Surface Duo, an Android device. They really didn't want to call it a phone. In fact, it didn't look like it even had a camera on it. But again, this was very early. I actually think this is a better idea than the folding phones that Samsung is shipping. 2 displays roughly the size of a phone, 5.6 inches. They can go all the way around. They said 360 degrees, but I think that would be a miracle. I think they mean 180 degrees. They can fold together like a book, and they can open up all the way like 2 screens on either side. Or you can do it halfway, and then it's a miniature 8.3-inch tablet, just about the right size. But they're again, discrete screens. Nobody expected this one. This surprised everyone. And honestly, I did not buy the Fold. You can buy it now, the Samsung Galaxy Fold, because I don't like the idea of creasing the screen, bending it in the middle. It just can't be a good idea. You could have a little crease down the middle. I don't like that. But you put a hinge and have two screens. That's kind of interesting. So it's nice to. I have to say, it's nice to see a mainstream, old school company that's been around for years and years and years, like Microsoft, put everybody back on their ears a little bit and say, we still have we got a little something left. That's really cool. I'm really pleased. So we'll have first looks at their new laptop, the new Surface tablet. We'll have a look at the new. The replacement for the Surface Go, which I thought was good but not very powerful, called the Surface X. Well, when these will come out in about 3 weeks. When they come out, we could talk a little bit more about them when we play with them. I'm more excited, though. Those are all nice. I'm more excited about what's going to happen. Christmas 2020. That's a long time away, isn't it? 8888 Ask Leo. That's the phone number. 888-827-5536. That's the phone number. Lady Laura in the house. She's our musical director. All the Team Tech guys assembled. Chat room is full. We're ready to go right after this. It's a miracle. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Kimmy Schaffer. Kimmy don't take no Schaffer. She is the unbreakable phone angel. We call her unbreakable because you callers, you try to break her. No, they're
They
nice.
try to break you, not me.
They do try to break me.
I just write something on the screen that I may have no idea what they're saying.
Do you think people secretly try to come up with a impossible to answer problem just to see
know.
what I do with it?
How often have you been completely stumped?
I get stumped a couple of times a show. It's not unusual.
And then the chat room helps you out.
Yeah, I mean,
sometimes.
it's not the end of the world. Nobody could know everything about everything.
That would be impossible.
But
and I have to give you credit because you're taking these calls on the fly. You're not pre-recording them
That's
and
crazy.
researching them.
Who would do that? That's nuts.
I don't know.
They used to.
I'm not sure who might do that.
They used to. When we did Tech TV, it was the same thing. It was live, and we would take live calls. And people were sure, because I had a little earpiece, because you have to in TV, so the director could say, move to your left 3 inches. You're out of your light or whatever.
Yeah.
Mostly they would say, rap. It's time for a commercial. Leo. Rap. Leo, you're killing this. Honestly, this is the conversation that I hear in my ear. You're killing me. You're killing me, Leo. We have to take a break. Stop talking. That's the kind of thing.
I've had to be that person before.
Yeah, right. Producer, right? People thought that I was getting the answers from the earpiece, but no.
Some shows, they do have researchers in the background that feed them answers.
I was just getting beat up.
That's not the case here.
In my ear.
I'm not feeding you anything.
She's giving me all the answers. Don't listen to her. No. She's the secret genius behind it.
Don't I wish?
She's Stimpy, I'm Ren. Or is it the other way around? I can never remember who the smart one is. Kind of like life. Who should I talk to?
How about GJ in Snohomish, Washington? He wants to talk about
now you're messing with me.
That it's Snohomish?
GJ in Snohomish?
Snohomish.
That sounds like nonsense words coming out of your mouth.
No, they've got all those Indian names up there.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Kim. Hey, GJ in Snohomish.
Thanks for the kind words in the community, Leo. I love the community.
Are you in there?
I'm in there, yeah. Remember you told me I love a computer pro. That's what you...
Oh, you're a computer pro. I do love you. See, GJ doesn't use the same handle in the community, but that's fine. You can use whatever you want. That's the whole idea, is come up with a clever handle. Have you been a computer pro forever?
Yeah, forever. Well, I was in law enforcement. I worked at computer crimes, forgery, fraud, technology.
Ooh, wow.
So I know a lot about a lot of stuff.
Ooh, that's cool. That's really cool. You've also done radio, I know, because
I did, yeah. And what looking at that board behind Kim, and I was thinking, she got the transmitter, she got the board. Just get her 2 turntables, because she got a microphone.
We always called it Radio Corner because it's got my old Gates Stereo Statesman. That's the old board that I used to use in college when I first started in radio back there. And she's got an AM transmitter from Sioux City, Iowa. So she could actually, she could do it. We need cart machines and turntables. If you can get us any of those, GJ, I'd be very happy.
I do have a cart machine, just so I can play my old cart.
Remember those days?
The first station I worked at had a board like that. It was KKOK in Lompoc, California.
Yeah.
And finally made my way to L.A. My last station I worked at was big XCRB, the Wolfman Jack station.
Oh, yeah. XCRB. It was that's an X it was in Mexico, just over the border, Tijuana.
The studios were in Hollywood. We would do the shows in the daytime on reel-to-reel tape. Take them down to Greyhound, send them down to Rosarito, Baja California, where they'd air the English programming at night.
Isn't that funny? In American Graffiti, they go to visit Wolfman Jack, right? Was that in Mexico?
Yeah. No, I'm not sure.
I have a little Wolfman Jack clip I'll play after your call. But you're here probably to plague me with a tough question.
Well, first of all, I want to be in the lounge, but only if it's got a bar. So I'm going to do that.
So the forum software we're using, which is I really recommend it for any company that wants to create an online community because it's very modern. It's called Discourse at discourse.org, and it's designed to truthfully, honestly, gamify good behavior. So if you are a participating member of the board, you post a lot, there's a like button. If you like a lot of posts and so forth, you can slowly up your status to the point of you start as a new user, you can work your way up to regular, and then you get in the lounge. So you're probably almost there, GJ.
I'm almost there.
You're going to get there and be very disappointed. You're going to say, what? I worked so hard to get in here, and there is nothing. It's just another section.
I'll arrive late. I'll wait for it to get popular. Before we run out of time, I wanted to talk to you about Facebook for a second.
Please, yes. Yes, we both hate Facebook. Even people who use Facebook hate. Everybody hates Facebook, right?
Well, Facebook hates me because I'll tell you, when you have 5,000 friends and followers and whatever, like I do, if you say the slightest thing wrong, you're in Facebook jail for another 30 days. I'm serving my 9th or 10th 30-day sentence in Facebook. I'm on Facebook as a computer pro, if anybody's curious as to why I'm so bad.
This is, of course, you're running on, this is the whole thing. You're running on somebody else's platform. They feel like they have an obligation to moderate it. But here's the funny thing. They announced last week that they're never going to do that to anybody who's a politician. They say you can lie all you want. You can do anything you want. You can incite violence. If you're a politician, it's okay. And everybody went, what? Wait a minute. What? A computer pro? You probably didn't say anything too bad, right? But no. But because I know you're a nice guy. You said something, somebody flagged it as inappropriate. That's what happened.
Well, though, I think when you have 5,000 friends and
that's too many friends. They don't like that.
They start monitoring what you say.
So all you got to do is put in your bio, running for office in Snohomish, and they can't buy. And they he's a politician. I guess he can say whatever he wants now. It's crazy talk.
The craziest thing is there's no way to fight back because if you click on the link saying I wanted to...
No, you can't. They'll ban you.
It says, sorry, this isn't working right now.
No, I know. You're preaching to the choir. I left Facebook in August of last year. But I also understand a lot of people, that's how they keep in touch with family, friends, grandkids. You may not like it, but you really can't give it up, can you? Leo Laporte, the tech guy. So what was it that you said? You said in the forums, but I don't remember. It wasn't bad.
No, white trash. The word white trash.
Somebody posted. I remember now. Somebody posted a picture you thought was disgusting.
Right, and so
I don't know what it was, but you thought people are white trash or something, right? And that boom, you're out of here.
They said you can't say that. That's hate speech, and again.
That's hysterical. That's hysterical.
You can find it all over Facebook, but if I say it, no.
Well, you have a higher burden because you have so many friends. Maybe that's the thinking. Here's the real problem. It's impossible for Facebook to police, and it's impossible for them to do it in any fair way. because there's too many people. They have 2 billion active users. There's not enough humans on the planet to moderate it. So that's all kind of piecemeal, and some people are going to get punished and some people aren't.
Yes.
And they know this. They and then they keep saying things like, well, we're going to use artificial intelligence. That'll work. But it doesn't. Only humans know if somebody's being a jerk. Computers don't know. They think that's normal.
No. Well, they will someday. But
HAL 9000, big jerk, right?
Hey,
I'm sorry, Dave. I can't do that, Dave. Big jerk. But no, he doesn't know.
If you're ever interested in having me on as a contributor, I asked you years ago, and then I kind of let it.
What would you like? You want to talk about forensics?
I can talk about anything, anytime, on any show. You just
that narrows it down.
When, where, when, and I'll be glad to. I can talk about all that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm not currently searching for new contributors. I have too many already.
I know you do.
But when these guys pass away, I'll be glad. No, I'm kidding. Scott's never going to die, right, Scott? Never.
No way.
No way.
Hey. Another thing I said, I'm going through a divorce.
I'm sorry, GJ. Yeah.
I commiserate with you because I know you went through that years ago.
It's never good. It's never a good thing.
I know. Well, I do appreciate talking to you.
My advice to everybody is work it out. Just work it out somehow, because it's never a good thing. Hey, it was great to talk to you, GJ. I'm sorry about your problems, but I do enjoy seeing you in the forums, and we'll see more of you.
I'll be in there, try to do a little entertaining on the side.
Thanks, a computer pro. See ya.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
My friends, our show today brought to you by the great guys and gals. I'm sure there's both at Capterra. Capterra is really an amazing solution for anybody who's looking for software for their business. And here's the good news. You don't have to use that old software you've been using for years because, running Windows XP because it doesn't work with anything more modern, or it breaks all the time. But the boss's second cousin, Joey, wrote it, and he's now moved to South Africa, and you can't get him to fix it, that kind of thing. No, you need well-written, high-quality software maintained by professionals that runs beautifully on the modern machines you've got. That's why you need Capterra. The very, very complete directory of business software. I mean, every possible program, 700 categories, thousands of programs in not just the big categories like CRM or email marketing or digital workplace software, video management software, not the big ones, just the big ones, but also literally line of business software for yoga studio management or running a funeral home or a dog grooming business. It's all there. Go to capterra.com/techguy. Enter the category you want. Find the software in your business. You can narrow it down by number of stars it's got for its ratings, by how it works, the features it has. You have specific needs. You check those boxes. You can even make a side-by-side comparison chart. So you can see these are my 4 choices. How do they compare? But then the best part is Capterra's got 1 million+ reviews of products from real software users. People verified to be using that software. So if you're going to look at a program, you can see, well, what do the people using it today think of it? That's the only really way to know if software is going to work for you. Validated, so you know they're real users. You can buy with confidence. Oh, and I left out the best part. This is all free. Free online resource to help you find the best software for your business. And I think that's why there's so many reviews. There's 1,000 new reviews every single day. Partly because millions of people use Capterra every month. It's very, very popular. But also because I think there's a feeling of let's pay it forward. This was a great resource. I read these reviews. I got this software. I love it. Or I hate it. Let me put a review here and let other people know. It's a brilliant plan. Capterra.com/techguy. CAPTERRA.com/techguy. The free directory of the best software solutions for your business, because Capterra believes software makes the world a better place. Capterra, software selection simplified. Go to capterra.com/techguy. Free forever. No, not freemium, just free. Capterra.com/techguy. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's time once again for the lovely, the talented, the bearded Scott Wilkinson, Santa Claus of home theater. Contributor.
And it's coming up to that time.
It is. Well, you were saying Lashana Tova because of course Rosh Hashanah was last week, and but people don't know is that Scott is a expert. They do know you're an expert tuba player, or as we call it, a tubologist. I don't know what we call it, but you also play the ram's horn, the shofar that is used to kind of announce Rosh Hashanah, the new year.
That's exactly correct. And I have one here. It's a
beautiful
ram's horn encrusted with silver.
Wow.
With a Hebrew saying on it that says, "With the great blast of the shofar."
What fun. Now we don't say Happy Yom Kippur because that's coming up, but have a good Yom Kippur, I guess is probably the best thing to say.
Have a sweet New Year is really what we hope for, and we eat apples and honey to
and I hope you get inscribed in the book or whatever.
Yes. Your fate is inscribed in the book of life for the year. And one thing about the shofar is the last call, the last thing that is done is called Tekiah Gedolah, which is the great blast. Basically, it's as long as you can hold the note.
Wow.
And
how long can you go?
My record is about 45 seconds.
Do you do circular breathing, or is that one lungful?
No. In fact, I asked a rabbi once if circular breathing was permitted, and he said, "No, I wouldn't do that. It's just supposed to be on one breath."
Because you could go forever if you. Can you circular breathe? That's where you're blowing and breathing through your nose at the same time, and you could. Exactly. In theory, you can go forever.
Yep, I can do that.
Wow. Yeah, I think the rabbi was just saying, 45 seconds is plenty.
It's plenty.
So, what's new in the world of AV, audiovisual gear?
Oh, well, there's a ton of good stuff. Actually, next week, I will have seen Gemini Man, and I'm going to talk to you about it. Gemini Man is coming up. It's Ang Lee's new movie.
That's an old movie.
Yes.
He's remaking a classic.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. But anyway, Ang Lee, as you know from his last movie, Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk, shot the movie at 120 frames per second, five times the normal frame rate that you capture movies in.
And it was kind of bizarrely realistic. It was
exactly.
It was discomforting a little bit.
Well, a lot of people found it so.
And I think that was Ang Lee's intent somewhat, right? He wanted to make it hyper-realistic.
Yes, he's an experimentalist. He pushes the envelope, and I really appreciate and admire that.
Is he going to do this with Gemini Man?
He is.
Oh, no.
Yes, indeed. So I'm going to see it next Friday in an IMAX.
It'll be like you're sitting in the room with Will Smith.
That's exactly
and
right.
Will Smith.
Both Will Smiths.
Both of them you'll be sitting in the room with. Well, that'll be interesting. That'll be really interesting.
Really
so he shot it at 120 frames?
120 frames in 3D. Now, I know you don't like 3D.
Do I have to see it in 3D to enjoy it?
Probably not. It's not in a Dolby Cinema, at least not that I've been able to find so far. But it is in IMAX. And so if you're near an IMAX laser theater and you want to check it out, that's the way to go.
IMAX laser. I'm making a note of that. Okay. Mm-hmm. The new TCL Chinese theater is
exactly
IMAX laser, right?
As an IMAX laser, correct.
Okay.
Also, the one in Burbank where I live is now laser, so I'm going to go see it there.
But man, if it's 120 frames, now the other thing he did with Billy Lynn is very tight close-ups for a lot of it. He used wide-angle lenses and was right in the actors' faces.
Right in the actor's face. And in fact, the actors looked straight into the camera. I don't know. And
they weren't allowed to wear makeup.
Correct.
So it was kind of like, well, I have actually sat across the table from Steve Martin. This was more disconcerting than actually doing it.
This was like makeup.
Yeah, Steve, I don't need to be that close. It was more real. Let me just put it this way. As somebody who has had an experience sitting across from Steve Martin, it was more real than actually sitting across from Steve Martin. It was disconcertingly real.
Did you? So you saw Billy Lynn in a high frame rate?
I got it. Well, probably not as high as you saw it because I got the DVD at home and watched it on my UHD 4K.
Yeah, you got the Ultra
60
HD
probably,
Blu-ray.
Right?
That was 60, correct?
Instead of 120. Still too realistic.
Still, you say too realistic. Now that's very interesting.
Yeah, because remember, there's a debate in the film community, and Ang Lee and James Cameron are on one side of this, and many others are on the other side. Film, as we've spoken about many times, is 24 frames a second, actual film, and it gives it a dreamy, less than real look that we've become used to.
Somewhat blurry, especially in motion.
And I think that for me, that's what I want film to look like. I want it to be a little dreamy.
And the question is that something innate, or is that just because of cultural conditioning?
Well, totally, it's cultural conditioning. Obviously.
We've had 100 years of 24 frames.
Obviously, it's that. Every movie I've ever seen was 24 frames until digital came along.
Until Billy Lynn and The Hobbit was actually at 48 in the theaters, and it might be on Blu-ray as well, Ultra HD Blu-ray.
So I like the filmy look. And I don't like the hyper real look because now I guess there's a whole generation growing up that didn't grow up with 24 frames per second. They probably don't even notice the difference. They're TV viewers, so they look
right.
They watch TV, which with a progressive scan TV is 60 frames a second.
Yep.
And they're probably used to that.
So
but
this movie,
even when we talk about the soap opera effect, the interpolation that you see that gives movies, and this is what Tom Cruise was inveighing against. Don't watch it with this interpolation. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Turned on because it looks like a soap opera. It looks too real. It doesn't have that dreamy look.
Well, there's a difference, too, I want to point out, between interpolation, this soap opera effect, which is the TV synthesizing new frames that weren't in the original image.
Clearly, that's not
versus movies that were captured at that frame rate.
What did Ang Lee shoot Gemini Man at?
120.
120 with IMAX cameras?
With IMAX cameras, yep.
So stereo.
Yep, and in stereo. So it was shot in 3D.
Video stereo, where it had two cameras, or movie stereo. So it has two cameras, like your two eyes, to give you a 3D effect.
Side by side, yeah. James Cameron does that as well. Did that with Avatar anyway. And there have been quite a few movies that have been shot that way, but not so many lately.
You know what's going to be interesting? Because he youthfulizes Will Smith in this movie.
Yes.
And
which we've seen now a number of times.
Yeah, but you would think that that's the kind of thing you want 24 frames. You want it to be a little smeary.
Yeah, right.
Because we'll just have to see. It's brave of him after the reaction for Billy Lynn, which was not particularly good.
Not very good.
In fact, it was, I thought, a really well done movie that the way he shot it overshadowed all of the other stuff. And
I happen to like the movie as well.
Yeah.
I thought the movie as a movie was very good. And you and I are in the minority in that too. Most of the reviews I read were not very good.
I think it would have been better had it not been shot the way it was shot, to be honest with you. Well, we'll see. Gemini Man, you know what? I bet you this. I always see this when a new movie comes out that's a remake. iTunes charts, the old movie pops to the top. Like all of a sudden, everybody's watching the old Gemini Man. So I'll be rewatching that. We actually now can compare the way they did it then, the way they're going to do it. It opens on the 11th, which is 6 days from now, next Friday, I guess.
I will be in IMAX.
And we'll get your review next week.
You bet.
Scott Wilkinson, he's our home theater geek. You can catch his work at techhive.com. And, of course, every week on the Tech Guy Show. Blow me the shofar. One more time.
Oh, here we go.
45 seconds. People are telling me there never was an original Gemini Man. I just could have sworn I saw an original Gemini Man.
I didn't quite get 45 seconds there, but I didn't take a
You're also bright red, so just don't push it.
Yeah, I won't push it.
So I'm sorry. I thought there was I did vividly remember another Gemini Man.
I thought there was too. Isn't there?
They're saying no.
Oh.
But who knows?
I thought there was too.
I thought there was an old Gemini Man. Why do I think that?
Yes, RD 1929 is exactly right. Thinking of Looper, perhaps. I definitely remembered Looper.
Yeah, I'm not thinking of Looper, but yeah.
Right. That was similar. That was a younger version of an older hitman.
Right.
Coming back to get him, or an older hitman coming back in time to get the younger Hitman. I forget exactly what it was, but it was something like that.
I actually liked Looper.
It's a clone situation. Good. I liked Looper too.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to give you your timer here and let you take it for a couple minutes. I don't have to go make coffee because apparently coffee is being provided.
Is being provided.
Oh, it was a TV show, Gemini Man, 1976. I was sure there was a Gemini Man.
1976. Wow. Oh, yeah. Mike B. is correct. Originally conceived in 1997, the film went through development hell for nearly 20 years.
The original was with Charlton Heston.
That was Omega Man.
Oh. There was a TV series in 1976. A man has a watch that makes him invisible when pressed, but he can only remain invisible for 15 minutes or he'll stay invisible forever. Oh, that's not what I'm thinking of.
Mm-mm.
Huh. Is it based on a famous sci-fi book? Maybe that's what I'm confusing.
Maybe. Dr. Mom Grandma asks if the silver casing affects the acoustics of the shofar. I don't think so. I don't believe so. The horn material is very hard, and so
it's a beautiful shofar. That is so beautiful.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
With a little elot stone right there.
Nice. I love klezmer music. The Klezmatics have a album called Jews with Horns.
Yes.
I love the Klezmatics.
I do too. They're one of my favorite groups.
Klezmer's great.
Absolutely. Oh, it's a great.
It went through a kind of a a kind of rebirth about 20 years ago. I remember there were a lot of klezmer bands. I saw Bill. Oh, he was the great clown. He had a one-man show, and he had a klezmer band playing with him.
I love playing klezmer tuba.
What does the tuba do in klezmer? Is it an umpapa or is it Bill
bass.
Irwin?
Yeah, it's the bass.
Yeah, Bill Irwin.
The bass part.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. We
did a little bit of that in at Rosh Hashanah. We have my community called the Sholem community has a Rosh Hashanah program outdoors in a park.
Oh, how nice!
So it's beautiful. It was beautiful this year, just gorgeous.
Oh, how nice!
And we play a bunch of music, and some of it's kind of klezmer-esque, and I bring my tuba and play tuba.
Stick around for the top.
Bet.
All right, Leo Laporte, the tech guy. 8888 ask Leo, the phone number. I guess I'm the victim of a false memory because there was no other Gemini Man. I was sure there was movie. There was no other Gemini Man. This is the first, although it's been in production hell for decades. So maybe that's, I don't know. There is a very famous false movie memory. A Sinbad film that even Sinbad thinks it exists. Sinbad the comedian. Sinbad Genie. There was never a Sinbad Genie movie, but many, many people have a false memory of the comedian Sinbad in a movie dressed as a genie. It's a false movie memory. So I don't know where these things come from. But it is a very odd psychological phenomenon that's apparently well-known, well-noted. There actually is a name for it, the Mandela effect, named after Nelson Mandela, because many people reported remembering that Nelson Mandela died in prison. Of course, he didn't. He was released and ended up becoming president of South Africa. But many people remember that he died, even though he didn't. I mean, he's dead now, and many people apparently remember Sinbad dying in a bad genie movie. So 8888 ask Leo, that's the phone number. Mark, Pasadena, California. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hi, Mark.
Hey. Hi, I had a question. I wanted to get a newer, either a laptop or something smaller and cheaper like a Chromebook, but I don't know much about Chromebooks. And I just wanted, the thing I wanted to use it for was something portable with a decent battery life and not something heavy like my old laptop. and I like HP stuff, and I want to use it for like making resumes and storing them on there so I can just print them out when I need them, and also doing like applications online for jobs and email.
Perfect. I'm a big fan of Chromebooks. In fact, my daughter uses a Chromebook. In college, she used a Chromebook. But there is a big difference between a Chromebook and what people think of as a general-purpose computer. So let me explain. Although, again, I would say for most people, a Chromebook is a very, very good choice. So normally people think of a computer, they think of a machine that runs either Windows or Macintosh, big operating systems. And they're general purpose operating systems. There's a host, tens of thousands of programs written for them that you can run on them of all kinds. They can, of course, in fact, all computers can now surf the internet. Chromebooks are intentionally built by Google with a couple of goals in mind. One, to make it something simpler than a general purpose operating system. In fact, all a Chromebook really is, you don't need to know this, under the hood it's running Linux operating system, which is a free operating system, but all it really is a browser, is the Chrome browser. And the theory is we've made the Chrome browser so complete, and there are so many extensions and applications that run in it, that it could be, the operating system could be a browser. It does everything you want. And what you just described, applying for jobs online, absolutely no problem. Any website, email, most people use their browser to get their email now anyway, so you don't need all the overhead of a computer that can run 20,000 programs if all you're doing is running a browser. Now, and Google realized, well, one of the things people do with a computer is, office tasks. So they, with their Google Docs, they offer a word processor, but it's online. They offer a spreadsheet, online, presentation manager, all the same things you do with Microsoft Office. Maybe not as polished, simpler to use, but it's all online. So again, you do it all through the Chrome browser. Last year, Google also, and I'm not sure I agree with what they did. I guess they thought, well, we would love to get the millions of apps that are available for Android on our Chromebooks. So we're going to allow you to also install Android apps there. Not all Android apps work. A lot of them don't work well. Many of them aren't designed for a laptop-style screen. They're designed for a narrow phone screen. I think it also adds security issues because Android is a little less secure than Chrome OS. The beauty of Chrome OS, simple, inexpensive, and very, very secure. Because bad guys just can't hack you.
What about the memory, and also if I'm not online, like if I'm sitting in my car and I need to work on something, it won't work then unless
That's
I'm online?
That's where it gets a little tricky. So it is designed to always be online, although you have offline access. You couldn't go apply for a job, but if your resume is in Google Docs, it's stored locally. You could work on it locally. So you can't surf the net, but you can never do that on any computer when you're not online. But you can use a Chromebook in what they call offline mode. It's just much more limited. So that was one attack Microsoft made on Chromebooks. You may remember the ads where they hired the Pawn Stars, and people would bring in Chromebooks, and the Pawn Stars would say, that's worthless. I can't use that. You can't do it online. So that left a memory, I think, in people's minds. Most of the time we're online. You could certainly buy Chromebooks that have a SIM slot for LTE connectivity, so you can always be online just as you are with your smartphone. That's an additional cost because you have to pay for that connectivity. But so you can always be online, except maybe when you're on an airplane, and still people can use them because they can use them in offline mode. You just can't get your email. You can write emails. You can read existing emails. You can't get new emails. You can't surf the net. You can work on documents if you've saved them offline to your Chromebook. They're very inexpensive. Most of them under $500. There's a good many very good ones. Acer makes some very nice ones for a couple of $100. So they're almost disposable. Very popular in school. As I said, my daughter used it in college. Now you'd think, well, college is somewhere where you need a very powerful system. But she was very happy. I tried it. In fact, I tried to give her more powerful systems as hand-me-downs. She said, no, I love my Chromebook. So I think a Chromebook HP makes a very nice Chromebook. And if you compare the same hardware, basically, the HP Chromebook version to the Windows version of the same thing, you'll see there's a fairly big difference in price. Now, memory, there's storage, but there's also RAM, and you want to get a Chromebook with 4 gigabytes of memory. The less expensive ones may not offer as much. And if you can afford it, 8 is even better. But that's how the prices go up. They save money by a lesser screen, maybe a lower quality trackpad, plastic instead of aluminum. There's lots of ways companies can make an inexpensive laptop that may or may not bother you. I'd suggest going to a Best Buy or a big box store and playing with the Chromebooks just to see if you can, if you like how they feel. They will save you a lot of money, and I bet you one way to try it is just only use Chrome on your computer, your regular Windows or Mac. Say, can I live in Chrome for a while? Try all the things. It's hard because that there's a solitaire game under the start menu. You'd be very tempted to go play solitaire. But there are online solitaire games, so you have to kind of rethink how you use a computer. I think it's a much better way to do it. What we're seeing, and I think this is going to be a big change in computing, is companies and users understanding that the needs vary. Some users are editing video or they're launching rockets. They need a general purpose operating system with a very powerful processor, lots of memory. Maybe they're playing high-end games. Some people don't need that. They're just doing word processing, surfing, email, banking. A Chromebook is a much better choice. It's much less complex. You don't have to worry about viruses. You don't have to worry about malware. It's just I think it's a better choice. But you have to kind of know, well, what is it I want to do?
Yeah, I was concerned about the battery, and then I like
batteries are very good. Tend to be very good on Chromebooks because again, they're not as complex. They're not as big a system. But that's going to depend on the manufacturer. Windows PCs, laptop batteries have declined, down to 3 or 4 hours is pretty common now. And in fact, Microsoft's working very hard to make high battery, all-day battery computers. They tend to be very slow. And I think they're doing it because they want to compete with Chromebooks. A lot of what Microsoft announced at that event was really all about the Chromebook. That's a good point. If you're already paying for connectivity with your cell phone, your Chromebook can just get join the Wi-Fi hotspot. And when you really need to be online, you can be. The only place is like when you're on a plane or a boat where there's no internet for anybody. And that's, I give you the helm, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you. So, hi, everybody. So nice to see you all. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing Gemini Man. By the way, I did look it up, and Distractify has an article entitled, "Is Gemini Man a remake?"
Well, I'm not alone in this false memory.
No, you're not. And it says basically, let's see here. Another thing popped out at me while watching the trailer, which a lot of people have felt when it first dropped, was that the movie's plot felt really familiar for some reason. So is it a remake? The answer is no, it's not. But there's a good reason to feel like it is, and that's because development has started in 1997. And it was originally with Jerry Bruckheimer, and he was and trying out different ideas for leading men: Harrison Ford, Nicolas Cage, Clint Eastwood, Sean Connery. But then Ang Lee was picked to direct the movie, and he went with Will Smith. So, and this article also makes a really great point about the cinema landscape now and then. 20 years ago, people were way more accepting of original science fiction. And he puts up the examples of The Matrix, Armageddon, and Contact. Armageddon, I don't know how original that is, a disaster movie. Those have been going on for a long time. But The Matrix was certainly original. Contact was certainly original, certainly one of my favorite movies. But then we started moving toward remakes and franchises. And that's kind of the way it's been, And so this is supposedly kind of an original sci-fi movie. He also cites examples Ex Machina, which I thought was very interesting, Annihilation, which I haven't seen yet, Looper, which we were talking about earlier. And, these are, again, original, interesting ideas, not just more of the same. I've gotten kind of tired of Star Wars, I got to tell you, because the latest trilogy, the last one's coming out, but the first two felt, like you're just remaking the same story again. Come on, let's be a little creative here. Pat Passengers is another example. I actually like that movie. So that was that probably the source of the false memory syndrome there. Yes, Phoenix Warp 1. Let's make this my new theme music. Certainly having some klezmer music, I would be totally up for that. Hey, beers on me, Keith 43, good to see you. Yeah, that would be fun to have klezmatics doing my theme music. Mike Heist, do you know if it was shot in 4K or 2K? I'm pretty sure it was shot in 4K. Pretty sure. And the answer to whether the camera, it was not Sony cameras, F65, F55. If you look it up, and I will do that right now, if you look up Gemini Man on IMDb, then we can, let me just quickly look that up here. Gemini Man, not Wikipedia, IMDb. And then you go to the tech details. I use IMDb all the time because it's got all the right information that I need. So credited cast, we go down below credited cast. We get the technical specs, and we look at the full technical specs. And we see that the cameras were the Arri Alexa XTM, Leica Summilux C lenses, the Phantom Flex 4K, and yeah, okay. So Arri Alexa XTM and Phantom Flex 4K. So it was shot in 4K. And hopefully that's the way they'll show it in IMAX. There was a thing yesterday, demo down in Hollywood, which I did not get to go to because it was hosted by Paramount and they didn't want press there, showing it off in the TCL Chinese Theater IMAX room. And it was in 4K, 120 frames a second, 3D, high dynamic range. So I'm hoping that's the way they show it in the IMAX laser in Burbank. Joe says, don't forget about aspect ratio. We associate 2.39 to 1 with a cinematic look. That's true. That's another aspect about cinematic look. Although a lot of movies are in 1.85 to 1, which is not that much wider than TV, 16:9. So that is not a universal thing. 24 frames a second is nearly universal. The aspect ratio isn't quite. Yeah, Planet of the Apes farm tech dino. Yeah, exactly. The silver casing. Yeah, I talked about that. Dr. Mom, Grandma. I'm kind of scrolling through here. I'm out of sync again. Oh man. I didn't update my OS. I did update everything except the OS itself because I was afraid that the XChat, Azure, and other apps would stop working, so I didn't want to do that. Dr. Mom, Grandma, how many remakes can we stand of Murder on the Orient Express? Yeah, that's a good question.
I
didn't watch the last. Was it? I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was
with
decent.
Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah, I love him
as Hercule Poirot. I love him. I thought he was great
me too. There are only so many plots. Jay's right.
I don't think so. Well, there are certainly only so many archetypical plot.
Yeah.
You know.
My dear old English teacher in high school said, if you read the Bible and you read Homer, you're pretty much set.
You've got all the plots there are. Well, that might be. But I still think it's worth checking out. Tech in San Diego, anything special I should be aware of when attaching my 65 OLED to my laptop? Presumably your laptop has an HDMI output. I don't think so in the 30 seconds I have left. Can't think of anything serious. You might want to change its color mode to PC, which goes from 0 to max rather than video.
The only issue will be with copy-protected content because in most cases You won't be, if you have a DVD player in your laptop, you won't be able to play copy protected stuff because they'll say, this is not.
They won't have. They don't have HDCP.
It's not HDCP compliant. You got Scotty, thank you.
My pleasure. See you this afternoon.
Yes.
For pre-record.
Yep. Thank you. Take care.
You bet.
Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, hour 2 of the Tech Guy Show. 8888 Ask Leo if you want to talk tech with me. Anything with a chip in it. 888-827-5536. Toll free from the U.S. or Canada, outside that area. Skype will do. Anything that you can use to call a phone should be free. 888-827-5536. My website, techguylabs.com. We put everything there. There's no charge. I know a lot of... Oh, that was sneaky. Very sneaky. We have Jeff and Maxine are visiting from Apple Valley. We have an open studio. We'll let people come in. And when Jeff got here, he snagged the good chair. Just got up to get coffee. Maxine's turn. Maxine's turn. All right. What was I saying? Oh, the website, techguylabs.com. I should post a picture of the seating in my studio so that you could plan ahead. Because there's some comfortable seating, there's some medium seating, and there's some terrible seating. Tech Guy Labs is free. There's no sign up, no charge. We put everything up there. In fact, James DeRuvo's writing everything I say, puts all the links up there. We add audio and video after the fact. And the whole idea is you don't have to write something down while you're driving around or you're busy on a weekend. You hear it on the show, you'll know it'll be there later. TechGuyLabs.com. There are no crying babies in the studio. UOSTWiz wants to say, I'll sit wherever it is as long as there are no crying babies. You're safe. We keep crying babies outside. Back to the phones we go here, and let's see. Joey is next from San Diego. Hello, Joey.
Hey, Leo. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you doing?
Leo, I always call you and say thank you. I'd like to make a pitch for you, too. I'd recommend all your listeners, we nominate you for the Radio Hall of Fame. I'd also like to say I just love your story, Leo, because you got cast out with Tech TV, and they let you go, and you let go from a lot of other different radio forms, but you found another way.
Anybody who's ever worked in media has been fired many times. I actually have been fired less than most people. But I have had suboptimal situations. I mean, I think in order to succeed in life, maybe it's only in this business, but I bet it's other businesses too. It helps to persevere, to not give up too easily. I tell my kids this, it's good. Sometimes you have to eat a little crow, but in the long run, if you work hard and you love what you do, you'll do fine. So thank you. That's very kind of you. I appreciate it, Joey.
Hey, Leo.
Yes, sir.
Leo.
Yes, sir.
I've been listening to you for a very long time, obviously. You used to recommend running as a standard user on Windows. I haven't heard you really mention that anymore.
I think it's technically still a good idea not. So the old advice comes from way back when in the Unix days, where there was a super user, sometimes they call him root, who could do anything, including delete the hard drive. You could do anything. You type rm-rf*, the whole thing's gone because you are all powerful. You are root. You are super user. And of course, in a world where a super user can do that, you don't let anybody be super user, except somebody who really understands what they're doing. And you wouldn't want to run as a super user, even yourself, in case you fumble-fingered the wrong command and screwed everything up. So even the root user, the administrator of a Unix system, would have a standard user account that they would use 90% of the time. And then they can escalate. It's called escalating to become root. That advice really still applied for a long time for Macintosh and Windows. And it is still decent advice. It's just a pain because you can't install anything. That's why it works. If malware, you click a link that's got malware in it and try to install it, the system will say, well, I'm sorry, you don't have permission. What is the administrator login? And you'd go, oh, oops. One would hope you'd go, oops, or you wouldn't know. That'd be the best thing. Somebody else is the administrator. So if it's a novice user, if it's a library, I still would probably run as standard, set up the accounts as standard user. You don't want them installing stuff. But it is a little annoying for your personal computer to run as a standard user. It's kind of, okay, yeah. And both Macintosh and Windows have fixed this situation with what Windows calls a UAC, User Account Control. If you pay attention to UAC, you don't have to run as an administrative user. You know what I'm saying? When you install a thing, the screen goes dark. It says, you're trying to do something important. Say yes or no. You know what? You remember that, Joey, when you see that?
Yeah. Well, no, I haven't, Leo. I'm not.
Yeah, turn on UAC, and you're 90% of the way there. The problem, you're even better on the Mac, because the Mac will say, oh, if you want to do this, type in an administrator password. So that's even better. And that's why I really don't say you need to be a standard user on the Mac. On Windows, though, with UAC, you're pretty well protected. If it's a kid who's going to just say, yeah, I want to install this thing I found, then maybe make sure they're a standard user. But on your own personal system, the safeguards Windows has built in the last couple of generations, I think have made it less dangerous to be running as an administrator. So that's a great question, Joey, because it has changed. My advice has changed over time.
Hey, Leo, I want to ask you one quick question about your passion and your love.
Yes.
What do you think about the new camera that they just put on the iPhone?
Man. Great question.
Is it better than what you've seen on the Droids?
Okay, it's very good. It's very good, but Apple has a software package they just put out on the beta users called Deep Fusion that is awesome. So the camera that I have, because I'm not running the beta yet, 13.2, but we'll get it. I think I have a theory about why it's not out yet, but these three cameras are great. I love having an ultra wide. That's fantastic. When they put out Deep Fusion, which is just more computational photography using. This is the one where it takes 4 shots before you even shoot anything, maybe more, 6 shots before you shoot anything. Then it takes an overexposed shot, and then it merges them all together. It knows the difference between bricks and sweaters and faces, and it automatically tunes it. It does this all within a second of taking the picture. And the samples I've seen from people who have been using the beta are mind-bogglingly good, very good. But coming October 15th, Google's going to announce its next phone, the Pixel 4. And Google, this is called, by the way, computational photography. This is the idea that you don't really, on any camera phone, even Apple's new one with 3 lenses, you don't really have great glass. You don't have great sensors. They're tiny. You don't have great lenses. So you're getting a kind of defective picture. But we also have a supercomputer behind it. And that supercomputer can do amazing things with limited information. That's why it's taking so many images, by the way. Every image is more information. Supercomputer works on it, puts it together, and says, here's your picture. And it looks like you're using, a full-frame camera with super glass and all that stuff. Computational photography. And machine learning informed. Google, of course, practically invented this. So I'm going to want to see what Google does with the Pixel 4. And here's my conspiracy theory. I think that's why Apple hasn't released Deep Fusion in public, because it's waiting to see what Google does with the Pixel 4 too, because they want to say, well, okay, but wait till you see what we can do. So you know what? This is good. This is great. This is a race between two companies. Competition is great for us as end users. We want them fighting tooth and nail to make the best camera system, right? So yes, Apple's iPhone 11, spectacular. If you could afford the Pro with 3 lenses, highly recommend it. It's very pricey, but I highly recommend it. But if what you're looking for is not a phone, not a pocket computer, but a pocket camera with the best computational algorithms behind it, giving you the most amazing photos, I'm very happy with the iPhone 11 Pro. But I want to see what Google can do. And then I want to see what Apple can do in response. And I'll let you know, because I have both. I'm going to, of course, order the Pixel 4. I'm very excited to see what Google's up to. They're really, both companies have very, very good engineers who have amazing picture foo. They can do, you've heard of Kung Fu, they do picture foo. They're very good at this stuff. So, Joey, I think we have to wait and give Google a chance to respond. And then we'll find out. But right now, I couldn't be happier with it. And somebody asked me in our forums, all right, which would you do? Note, now that you have a Note Note 10 Plus and iPhone 11. Which do you prefer? Unless you need the stylus, I think the iPhone 11 is absolutely the best camera out there right now. Right now. All may change in 10 days. Joey, it's good to talk to you. Thanks for the kind words. 8888, ask Leo the phone number. 888-827-5536. That's the phone number, and we will take more of your calls right after this. Somebody did a name check of all the people in this Billy Joel song, We Didn't Start the Fire. Only 3 of them are still alive. Really? Queen Elizabeth. I'm trying to remember the 3. Almost all. It's not a good thing to have been in this song. Let's just put it that way. 8888, ask Leo. Great song. We Didn't Start the Fire. Great song. All right. And by the way, a tip of the geek fez to Lady Laura, who is our new musical director, playing some nice music. Thank you, Lady Laura. Tony in West Palm Beach, Florida. Hello, Tony.
Hey, Leo.
How are you?
How's it going?
I'm well. How are you?
All right. So I just heard a comment about your TiVo saying, powering up, please wait.
So I have, I regret it, perhaps.
I know.
I spent a lot of money on TiVos.
I know. I've been doing this for 20 years. So I've been there, done that.
I wrote a book on it 20 years ago, TiVo Series 1. That's how long I've been doing it.
I know. I had the gray box with 2 hard drives in it.
Yep, the gray box.
Yeah. Yep.
So I bought a TiVo Bolt Plus, TiVo Bolt 3 Plus, whatever it was, the 3 terabyte one.
Yes, sir.
And my wife, and I put it in my office. And my wife, we're watching it. She says, why don't I have this? I said, well, because it's expensive and I have to buy a lifetime subscription. I didn't want to do the Mocha thing over through the cable, so I got her one. Then she says, why isn't there one in the living room? So we put cable cards in all 3 of them. I bought lifetime subscriptions for all 3 of them. So we're out maybe $700 each, right? That's a couple of grand so far.
Absolutely. Well, there are different prices throughout the generations, but I've been at 400.
Well, but the problem is the lifetime is the lifetime of that doohickey, not of me.
Yes, exactly.
So the most recent one I got, the Bolt, I got what they call the Rainbow of Death. It's all the lights light up.
Oh, crap.
Oh, now you know what I'm talking. So that means, I'm told that means the hard drive died. And then I thought, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. It's out of warranty. It's 2 years old. I don't know what I'm going to do. So somebody
I can help.
Well, that's what Tony, you're the guy. You told me, put a new hard drive in here. Tony's heard this whole story, but I'm saying for the rest of you. So you told me, order this 2.5-inch hard drive. I got a Western Digital Blue 2 terabyte. I don't need 3, 2 terabyte. Put it in. Took the thing apart. Only a few little plastic pieces went flying. No, I don't care. Had to snap some things open to get in there, but I got in there. It turns out it's a simple thing to do. Replaced it, and then I think you told me plug it in, and it'll download the TiVo software.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So it's been starting up for 5 days now.
Leo, I got you, baby. I got you. It's the power supply. It's the power supply. I've had the same situation.
I am not putting one more penny into that.
No, it's a transformer with a little tiny plug. Put the power supply in it. Buy a power supply. That's going to fix it. I can guarantee it. I've had that before.
Okay. Yeah, because I did get a new hard drive. So that red rainbow, the Rainbow of Death, doesn't have to mean the hard drive. It could be the old hard drive was fine.
The power supplies are digital. And you can't even test those things because they seize voltage or whatever,
Well, so my new plan, and I'm gonna come back and talk about this because so remember, spousal acceptance factor, very important.
I don't have a spouse, so yeah.
Yeah, very important. SAF. If Lisa can't watch TV, she can't record the voice. I'm the one, not Tony in West Palm Beach. I'm the one who suffers. Okay, I'm just saying. I'm sleeping on the couch. So I want to try something. I won't take the TiVos out. I'm not going to. I would prefer not to give that company any more of my money.
Leo, honestly, it's the power supply. Just buy a power supply, plug it in. That fixes it. I've had that situation.
All right, I will do. I will do that because I've already.
Yes, sir.
I did another stupid thing.
I know.
Wait a minute, Tony. You don't know. I did not tell you this. I've been keeping a secret.
Go ahead.
I twice I ordered the wrong hard drive. Twice. I know it's a 2.5, but I was looking at a website. They had a link. I clicked the link. I bought it, and it was a 3.5. I went, oh, that's wrong.
So
I put that aside. I said, I'll put that in my NAS.
I sent you a link that I put an SSD in my TiVo Romeo.
How did that work?
A 3.5 hard drive. And I put a 2.5 in there with an adapter, and I think it's fabulous. It works great.
I don't care how fast it records. It doesn't matter to me. What's the speed for? I don't need the speed. I just want it to record and not die. Anyway, we'll see. Where do I get that? Do I have to go to eBay to get a power supply? Where do I get that?
Buy from TiVo directly, or your buddies at Weekneys. That's all you got to do.
Oh, I'll ask Weekneys. They'll sell it.
It's like $25.
Okay.
If it works, it works. That's fine.
If it doesn't, I'm sending the whole thing, tabs, broken plastic tabs and all, to Tony in West Palm Beach.
I know.
Thank you, Tony.
Hey, so I want to tell you congratulations, because I saw you on one of your other podcasts, and you look fabulous. I'm a fellow keto, doing the keto thing.
Yeah.
And you look amazing.
Thank
you.
You
look amazing.
This is another long tale.
I know. It's a lifetime thing.
And I don't want to get in the business of recommending diets, because I don't know anything.
I know.
But it did work for me, a ketogenic diet.
It's working for me too, Leo.
Yeah. And I've met people. We had somebody in here the other day, lost a leg to type 2 diabetes. He did it after he heard I was doing it, and he's lost 45, 50 pounds. He had an insulin pump, doesn't have to use it anymore. But I don't see, when I say that, it sounds like I'm saying to you that this will work for you, and I'm not. You got to go to your doctor, talk to your doctor. I did something that's a doctor-supervised program. It was fairly expensive, but I thought this is better than losing body parts. It's Virta Health, and I will give them a plug, VIRTA health.com. They're not an advertiser, but I've been on it since February, and I've lost 25 pounds. But more importantly, to me, my blood sugar is now back down to normal. My A1C got down to 5.3. My blood pressure is better. It was low normal. The doctor said, I have to take you off the medication. You're going to faint. You're going to pass out when you stand up. When we come back, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I want to talk about my plan to replace TiVo, what my experiment will be in just a bit. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Dr. Mom's going to kill me. Dr. Mom's going to kill me. She's going to kill me. I have much atoning to do, Dr. Mom. He's been everywhere. It's time for Johnny Jett, our travel guru, brought to you this week by the amazing Epson EcoTank printers. Kiss expensive cartridges. Bye-bye. Put them on the plane. Fly them somewhere, because you got the Epson EcoTank printer. You put that on your school supply list, because EcoTank comes with a ridiculous amount of ink. Just fill and chill. Check out Epson.com/EcoTank. Leo. Johnny Cash is not chilling, man. He's been everywhere, going everywhere. Hello, Johnny Jett. Hello.
How you doing? I don't know if can you hear me okay?
Yeah. How are you?
Okay, sorry. All of a sudden the Wi-Fi seemed to cut out.
Oh, you've been having Wi-Fi troubles?
No, I have not until just right now. You were talking about Epson. So hopefully if it cuts out, I'll call you on my phone real quick. But
you sound good now.
Everything's going well.
Yeah. And baby Grace, Olivia Grace, and somewhat
great.
larger baby Jackie Jett, they're doing good.
Yeah, they're doing great.
Mama Natalie feeling fine. Good. When do you hit the road? When do you hit the road again? When do you get back in an airplane?
Actually, I think I'm going back on a plane next week for the first time.
Nice.
In a while. So
we just got back from Boston. We flew out for a couple of days for an event for our sponsor, LastPass, and then I saw my mom because she's in Providence. I told my mom, I said, I want to be like Johnny Jett. He's so good to his dad. And I inspired by you, I took Mom for a walk around the block. It was nice.
Good for you. Good. I tried. My dad now lives in Florida because healthcare is much cheaper down there, and my sister lives down there, and the weather's warmer. And I try and go visit him at least once a month.
You're such a good son.
In August, I went 4 times in 3 weeks, which was insane.
So good.
Because he had an operation. But it's important. I mean, that's where you got to spend time with your loved ones, and especially when you live far away. It's I feel like I haven't really missed much because I've been doing that.
My mom's 86. Your dad's in his 90s.
My dad's going to be 91 next month.
Amazing. That's us. That's just
so
awesome.
I asked him what he wants. I said, I'll take you anywhere you want to go for your birthday. I do that every year. He always says Vegas. This year he said he wants to go meet his granddaughter.
Oh,
so
he's going to come out to San Francisco. I want to meet Dad. That'll be great.
L.A.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
You live in L.A. What am I thinking? Yeah. Johnny, sure. Usually if I don't burn your time, you talk about an app or a website that'll help us travel better.
Well, this one I think you're going to like. It's actually, I just heard about it. My buddy Everett Potter from Forbes wrote about it. And actually, I know the CEO. She lives in L.A. It's called DocTours, DocTours.co. So as I was just talking about medical bills, and it's cheaper for my dad to live in Florida. Well, it just seems crazy how expensive medical is these days, from either, getting, if you're going to get a colonoscopy or if you're going to get your teeth done. It's just a ridiculous amount of money. So what people do is they travel around the world. And I mean, this makes going on for
so sad, because people used to come to America for better health care. Right. Now we have become a third world nation in health care. We have to go to them for health care.
Right. Well,
how do you get health care abroad, though? I mean, you're not covered by their nationalized insurance. You have to pay for it, but you're saying it's so inexpensive.
You had to pay for it.
Yeah, but it's so inexpensive, it's worth it.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. Like, I have friends who live in Bangkok, and they're like, the hospitals there are run like a Four Seasons hotel. All the doctors are trained in the U.S., and you don't have to wait a long time.
So the care is still good. It's not bad care.
Oh. Yeah, and according to this website, 70% of their doctors are trained in America.
Interesting.
And I actually got cured of asthma by a Chinese doctor in Malaysia about 10 years ago, and he was trained in the U.S., but he used all these kind of like Eastern medicines on me. And I would not go to the mailbox without my inhaler, and now I don't even carry it with me. So I know people who just travel. I mean, you can do it for cosmetic reasons. A lot of people like to travel to get plastic surgery abroad. That way they're incognito.
Tell your friends, just go on a little vacation, and I should be looking very well rested when I get back.
Right, but I mean, there's a whole. This article's fascinating, and the site. I'll tweet it out in the chat room.
Just like Dr. Tours. DocTours.co.
Correct.
Yeah.
But it will save 30 to 80% on your medical costs. And, I always have people saying, where should I go? I have no idea where you should go. I just know that a lot of people that I know have done, a lot of people go to Budapest, Hungary for their teeth because the doctors there are amazing. And the cost is it's like $250 to get a bridge done.
Plus, you get to see a beautiful place. So I go to Tijuana. I don't think I'm going to go to Tijuana for my facelift.
No, but if you live in Southern California,
maybe
it makes sense.
How about Thailand? $3,500, facelift, middle face, and neck. How about let's go to let's see.
Well, she used an example. Someone was trying to get pregnant, and to get those IVF.
Oh yeah.
They spent over $100,000, but she sent them to this Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. It cost $5,900. And it took the first time, and that was everything. And you're enjoying
a beautiful beach experience while you're getting your IVF or your facelift.
So the woman who created this, she actually is in the travel industry. So not only do they tell you where to go, they arrange all your travel for you. So you don't even have to say, hey, how much is it going to cost for me to fly there, or what hotel should I stay in? They do it all, and that's another thing that is a plus about these medical tours. I think this woman, I think she was picked by Forbes as like 30 under 30, like people to watch. And she is, I think she might become a billionaire because of this site. It's really something.
All right, give us another one, an app.
Okay. So how about an app? I've mentioned about, I know you like Peloton, and
yes, I do.
And it
looks so good in my gym. Although I never use it, but it looks like I am a fitness freak.
Well, my wife wants one. She wants to put it in the living room.
She can have mine. What? I've never used it. No, I use it a lot when I first got it, but that's with all exercise equipment, right? You use it a lot at first, and then less and less, and
Hey, we would buy it from you because it's $3,000.
Yeah, it's expensive, and then you have $40 a month for the classes, but it's great. But so, what do you have? Give me something else.
Anyway,
Yeah, special shoes. You need special shoes. Never do exercises that require special shoes. That's my motto.
I'm with you on that. Listen. Yeah. But there's an app called LiveKick, LiveKick.com. So if you need like a personal trainer, they do two-way video conferencing.
Oh.
It's only on iOS or their website.
Oh.
And it's basically like FaceTime type training sessions all around the world. So no matter what time zone you're in, there's a trainer available, and they're 30 minutes long, and they're all trained. They're all, like, the yoga teachers are yoga certified by the Yoga Alliance. On their website, it shows you like what and they all speak English, so they all have to either speak native English, they say on their website, or native level English, whatever that means. But if you need a personal trainer to get motivated,
so Dean's from the UK. Ethan and Venatia are from South Africa, so they have people from all over the world. This is their fitness and yoga team. Calgary, Canada, Saudi Arabia. Well, that's kind of cool too. You get a little cross-cultural exchange. I want to
for sure.
I wonder if I get beard training, because these guys they've got their beards are on fleek. I wonder if they do beard training, because I could use that.
That's funny.
Yeah, I don't need the biceps. I need the beard.
Well, November's coming up, so you could do
Movember, where you grow a mustache for benefit men's health, or a beard.
Yeah,
I try that every year, and about November 3rd, Lisa says that's enough.
Yep.
We're done. You'll find Johnny Jett at his website, johnnyjett.com. You'll find him on Instagram at Johnny Jett. He's on Twitter at Johnny Jett. I think all you have to remember really is Johnny Jett. And don't forget his great travel newsletter is on his website, and lots of other great goodies. Thank you, Johnny. Safe travels.
Take care, you too.
Actually, I'm a big believer in trainers. I have 5 days a week.
Do you really?
5 days a week I have of training.
Well, if you don't want that Peloton, I will buy it from you.
Gosh, maybe I should do that. I hate to give it up because I really love it. It's the best spin class. It's just fabulous. But I just never get around to doing it.
The thing is heavy, right? It's like,
yeah, you got to get a pickup truck. Yeah. Oh, it's a spin bicycle. It's bicycle. It's a spin bicycle. It's like the bicycle you have at the gym for spin. It's heavy because it's got a big flywheel.
Well,
I'm keeping it. I'm not selling it to you.
You think about it.
I do love Peloton. I really do. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. 8888. Ask Leo. Let's get back to the phones. Line 3, Grant, St. Paul, Minnesota. Hello, Grant.
Hello, Mr. Laporte.
How are you today?
Oh, I'm decent enough.
Yeah, me too. What's up in your world?
Well, first I'd figure I'd give you an update on a thing I called you about a few weeks ago before I ask you my new question. I'd asked about e-bikes and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I'm a big e-bike fan.
Yeah, he posted a picture of you riding your e-bike after the episode.
Oh, that's right. You asked me for a picture, so I had our guard go out and take a picture. I was going to say shoot me, but no, he took a picture of me as I rode by, and we posted that. Yeah, I love my e-bike. It's so fun.
Yeah, so I ended up buying a trike and an e-bike kit.
Nice.
So
was it an e-trike or just a regular trike?
A regular trike and then a kit. Where it,
you can electrify the bike. Oh, that's smart. That's smart.
Yeah.
I like the trikes because they're recumbent. Not because you're like an infantilized person who can't ride the two-wheeler. That's not the point. The point is that they're recumbent and your legs are pushing forward instead of down, and you have much more power. It's easier on the back, too. I really love those recumbent bikes. The only bad thing about them is people laugh at you. But I am a fan. Well, good. So you're happy with your choice. Have you done the electrification yet?
I'm in the process of doing the modification now.
How fun. Do you think it'll be hard?
No, it should be fairly straightforward.
Good.
I'm working with a guy at a local bike shop to help me out.
I think that's a good idea. I think that's actually a very good idea. We assembled one of my e-bikes ourselves. Brought it into the bike shop when I was at a flat, and he said, your brakes are on backwards. I said, oh, that explains a lot. So it is good to get an expert's eye on it before you ride it. What can I do for you? What's your new problem?
So I have I'm deaf in one ear, but I like to be able to use headphones and stuff.
Yeah.
But the problem with any good headphones that I find is innately stereo sound.
Right.
That's bad for me.
Yeah, because you'll miss, especially if it's highly two-channel, you'll miss one channel.
Yeah, so I like using it with my Linux computer, but I can't find a setting in my sound system to tell it force mono.
So I thought this was a doable thing on Windows anyway. Is it a Windows machine?
No, it's Linux.
Oh, it's Linux. I get it. Yeah, because I think the Windows. So it also is driver dependent, but I think a lot of the Windows sound drivers do have mixers in them, and one of the settings in the mixer is mono. Let me look on my Linux box and see. That seems like that would be the kind of thing. It'd be easy to implement. Just say, look, make that audio mono. I don't want to come in out of stereo. Sound. Let me just look.
Years back, I know I could do it, but
yeah,
that has happened over time. Just seems to have gotten rid of it.
Yeah. I'm looking now. I'm running Pop OS, which is a version of Debian, and yeah, I'm looking at the output, and they do have a configuration you can choose from: analog stereo or analog surround. Oh. It would be nice to have a mono choice in there. I bet you there's a way to do it. There's got to be third-party sound drivers for Linux. It's one of the nice things about Linux. Is that there is a strong support by its users. So have you Googled Linux mono sound driver to see if there's a third-party driver?
I looked it up and I found, here's a sequence of terminal commands that you can put in. But
I do see it. Yeah, they're quite elaborate, aren't they?
Whenever I've done that, it's okay, it's like that for now, but
you can use the module to remap pulse audio in a terminal. Oh, golly. Yeah.
It doesn't stick.
Yeah.
If I reboot my system, suddenly it's not there anymore. And
yeah, I don't blame you. However, that is kind of the Linux way. So the other way to do it is do it in hardware, and that wouldn't be too hard to do. Is to get a device that would take the stereo output of that mini jack on your laptop and turn it into a single mono output. I'm sure, in the old days I would have sent you to Radio Shack, but can't do that anymore. But I'm sure there's ways online that you could find a stereo to mono converter. And then the other thing, which I think a lot of people who really are audiophiles, I don't know how serious you are about your audio, but a lot of audiophiles use headphone amplifiers anyway. The A to D converters built into most PC hardware are generally substandard. They're not audiophile. So a lot of people just take a USB audio device, external audio device, and plug their headphones into that and use that DAC and maybe even amplifier to do it. And I'm sure there are some that will give you a mono sound. So okay. Dr. Mom has given me thank you, Dr. Mom, a great link in the chat room, which we'll put in our show notes, from CNET, making headphones mono. Now, I imagine that's going to involve a little bit of rewiring, but there are ways to do it. This is a whole... You can actually buy an adapter from Monoprice. That's great. And it's specifically for people like you who have one ear. So you can buy... This is actually... Thank you, Dr. Mom. This is the answer, which is you can buy a special adapter, just a plug from monoprice.com that you plug into the headphone jack of your device and then plug your headphones into it, and it will mix it down to mono, which is what you want. You don't want just, as you know, you don't want just left channel. That's what you're getting when you just put the headphones on. You want the two channels mixed down to a mono sound.
Yeah.
Very good. I will put this at techguylabs.com, or you can search for CNET making headphones mono. Okay.
But, other question.
Yes.
If I have wireless headphones, how does it work?
Oh, now you say that. It's a little more complicated. You got me. I don't know if they're wireless. That's Bluetooth. And that means you have to somehow, with the Bluetooth driver, you have to tell it, look, I don't do all that fancy left-right stuff. Just put it all into one channel. That one I do not know the answer to. That's a software issue because obviously you're not plugging them into anything. It's going to be the Linux software driver. Tell you what, though. I bet you right now there are people in the chat room who are Googling this, searching for this, and we'll find a way to do it. Linux Bluetooth driver that will allow me to mix down to mono. That sounds like a good idea. Sounds like that'd be useful. Appreciate the call. We'll see. Keep listening. Maybe, I said it early at the beginning of the show. I can't answer every question, but boy, it's hard to find a question that one of our listeners or the chat room can't figure out. So keep listening. Somebody's going to come up with something. 8888 Ask Leo, the phone number, if you can help figure out. That's a great question. Grant wants to make his Bluetooth headphones mono. Just use one. It would be just so sensible if those Bluetooth earbuds, if you took one out, right now what it does is it senses that and it stops the music. But wouldn't it be smart if it said, oh, I see you're just wearing one. Let me make it mono. That would be the way to do it. We've got to find somebody who does that. 8888 Ask Leo if you've got an idea, or techguylabs.com, the website. You can leave a comment there. More of your calls right after this. Time to tell you about Plex, which is a part of this overall solution. I've used Plex forever. You've heard me recommend it for years on the Tech Guy when people say, well, I want a way to play back my own music, movies, TV shows. I want to organize my personal collection. I want to stream it to every one of my devices, even when I'm out of the house. Plex, P-L-E-X. Plex allows you to download whatever music, TV shows, podcasts, photos, put them on a server, then see it anywhere in the house, on any device, on any mobile device. But Plex does more, and this is the thing I want to use. You can watch live broadcast TV and DVR. You got to have a Plex Pass for this. I'm a lifetime Plex Pass owner. But if you've got an antenna, a tuner, stop paying for cable. It's the ultimate cord-cutting device. They also have added a lot of new features. They now have news, 190 sources for national, international, and local news, 80% of U.S. markets. See, this is big because when you're cord cutting, that's one of the things you would lose, right? Is you don't have to worry about it. There's premium music, lyrics, custom curated playlists. It's actually the best media experience ever. And you don't have to trust me for this. Just talk to the people in the chat room, read the reviews. I love it. I can drag and drop my movies, my digitized movies and TV shows in there. It automatically gets all the extra metadata, trailers, behind-the-scene features, never-before-seen footage, puts it all together. If it's TV shows, it says, oh, that's episode 3 of season 4, puts it in order. It's just the best software ever for this stuff. And if you haven't used it, you got to try it. And really great for multiple users. You can switch users with Plex Home. Works on the road. They've got parental controls. Get the Plex Pass right now. Less than $5 a month. You get the best of Plex and early access to premium features. Cut the cable cord. Save big. Plex is offering you a 30-day free trial because you're listening. A Plex Pass so you can see what this is all about. Give access to all the premium features. Plex, plex.tv/twit. And use the code TWIT to start your free trial. Plex.tv/twit. It is awesome. So that's going to be my big solution, which is as soon as the Silicon Dust comes out with this 6-tuner thing, you connect it to your Ethernet, so it's on your local area network and on the internet. You connect it to your cable, got a cable card, put that in there. That thing I can then, from anywhere in the house or even from my phone or from my tablet or wherever I am, I could say, record the voice. Lisa can watch the voice. Plex will actually store it appropriately, and she'll have all the season stuff with all the thumbnails and everything. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the tech guy. Oh, time to talk computers and the internet and home theater and digital photography and smartphones, smartwatches. 8888 Ask Leo. That's the phone number, 888-827-5536. Toll free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. You can, outside that area, you can still call. You Skype out to call. The website, very important, techguylabs.com. And I mention that because it's free and it's all there. As we talk about stuff, James Deruovo is writing it down. We divide the website up into shows. This is episode 1632. And so you go to that show. You don't have to know the number. You just go to, the show for the date. And that show is divided up into hours, and that hour is divided up into segments, and then you can go right to that segment, and you see there's actually audio and video there after the fact, so you can watch or listen to me answer the question. You can read the text. You can click the links. It's all there, and it's free. We go to great effort for no cost so that you don't have to write stuff down while you're driving. TechGuyLabs.com. Line 4, Dan in Orange County. Hello, Dan.
Hey, Leo. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Hey, quick question for you.
Yes.
I recently signed up for a VPN or a virtual private network. And I'm noticing that some of the banking apps that I use it on my smartphone and my laptop, and notice that some of the banking apps don't work, realize that the streaming service that I have doesn't like it. Just trying to understand if
They're blocking it.
Around that.
They're blocking it. And the reason they block it, well, the bank blocks it because they don't want fraud. And so one of the ways they figure out that you are who you say you are, this is the problem of authentication, and it's non-trivial. And a VPN breaks something that a lot of sites use. You might see Google using this too, which is, well, the last time Dan logged in, he was in Orange County, California. This time he's in Orange County, California. That's good. But the problem with a VPN is the last time Dan logged in, he was in Orange County, California. This time he's in Tel Aviv, Israel. Next time he's in Botswana. Then the next time he's in the Soviet Union, which is amazing because that's been gone for 20 years. So the VPN hides your location, among other things. And so banks, I think they've never told me why, but I'm gathering that this is why. I do know that the reason your video providers often block it, Netflix tries to block VPNs, is because they don't want you to be logging in from Mexico City and getting the U.S. version, or vice versa. So the location. So unfortunately, increasingly, location is becoming important on the internet. Now, there are probably ways to get around this. BBC Player in the UK does actually block VPNs because so many people started watching BBC shows outside of the UK, and they try to restrict it to UK citizens because they pay the television license fees, and they figure, well, you paid for it. These other guys are freeloaders. But there are ways around that. Some VPNs try to trick it. I am not an expert on that solution, so I don't know. But it's my guess there are ways around it. I wouldn't try to get around the banking app. I think in a way that's a good thing. So what you should remember is that when you're on with your bank, it's encrypted anyway. You can turn off the VPN, log on to the bank. That entire session is completely encrypted, private. Only the bank sees it. So that you don't need the VPN for. Streaming video, well, that might be another issue. But and I do know there are people who are able to watch the BBC and Netflix. I've never asked them how, but there are ways to do it apparently.
Any other? I mean, I'm trying to decide if there's.
I would just turn it off for the things it doesn't work with. That's one of the criteria that you should be looking for in a VPN is an easy on-off switch so that, you turn it on when you need it, you turn it off when you don't.
Got it.
That's, I guess, that's the only real answer probably. Yeah.
Obviously the anonymity is part of the reason why people use those. I mean, what are the major selling points? I signed up for it just because I kind of heard about it and thought, gosh, that sounds like a great way of just making sure I don't get have problems. But
VPNs, virtual private networks, are used for two reasons. You nailed one: privacy. The other is security. So the idea is our traffic, our conversation on a Wi-Fi access point, particularly if you're in public, could perhaps be snooped upon by others. So we want to have an encrypted conversation. The thing that's going to threaten VPN providers in the long run is the entire internet is moving towards encrypted conversations. So just as right now, if you go to your bank or you go to Amazon, many sites, you'll see HTTPS. That means it's secure. It's encrypted between you and that site, just as completely as it would be on a VPN. There's one little difference, and that's the privacy difference, which is if you're going through an internet service provider to your bank, they can't see what you're saying to the bank, but they can see you've gone to the bank. They can see the bank's address. So they say, oh, he's talking to his bank. Big deal. But some people don't even want that. You know, partly that comes from internet service providers who we know, and they're not even sketchy ones, they're big name ones, keep track of the sites you visit and sell that to marketers. If you go to REI a lot in your browser, your home ISP may well sell that information to North Face. Saying you should give this guy an ad for puffy vests. It's clearly a puffy vest user. That kind of thing. It's good. It's a little extra money for the ISP, but a lot of people, I think big deal. Big deal. That's not a lot of information I'm leaking, but some people worry. To me, security is the main reason you use a VPN, and you use it anywhere you can't trust the internet provider to encrypt you. And as I said, again, you know, if you're just getting Google Gmail, that's encrypted. If you're just buying Amazon, if you're just going to the bank, if the stuff you're really trying to protect is all HTTPS, you don't have to worry about a VPN.
Okay, perfect.
Right? Thanks for the question. It's a great question. VPN providers are looking for additional ways to provide value. And they're getting better and better at speed. Speed used to be an issue because you have to go through, it's like an extra layer, right? You have to go through the VPN provider, but they've gotten very good at kind of fixing that problem. But I do think that one of the things Google's been pushing for is they call it HTTPS everywhere, secure browsing everywhere. They want every site to do that, and Google's little stick and carrot is we'll give you better search. You'll show up higher in search if you're encrypted. Well, it's because you're safe and we think it's a better site and blah, blah, blah. But really, it's a way of incenting you as a site. Our techguylabs.com and my podcast site, twit.tv, I don't really need to encrypt those. You can't even make an account at twit.tv. There's no private information going back and forth between us. But because Google's really pushed for this and we want to get the best possible search results, we do it. It's not inexpensive. It's a few $100 a year, but we do it. Not to make you safer. You don't need to be safer when you visit the podcast site. The download's encrypted, but just because Google will give us better search results. And that's what's happening. So more and more as you surf the net. There are browsers. Brave is my favorite kind of browser for this. It turns on HTTPS everywhere you go. You can even get a plugin for your browsers. It'll do this, but Brave has it built in. So whenever possible, it encrypts your traffic. There's another form of encryption that's a little controversial. Firefox is turning it on now. It's encrypting your DNS searches. When you type in the name of a website, bankofamerica.com, you're actually not going to bankofamerica.com. Your computer does a lookup, like a phone book, saying, well, what is the address of bankofamerica.com? Oh, 210.64.32.128. You've seen those addresses, right? Those are the actual addresses of every website, every internet service. It can't use the bankofamerica.com. They just do this to make it easy for you, just like a phone book. So your computer asks your internet service provider, so where is this Bank of America? Where are they? And then the ISP says, well, that's at 210. And the browser goes there. That also is leaking information. Your internet service provider, who in almost every case provides that lookup, that it's called DNS, is in some cases saying, oh, he just went to Bank of America. We should give him a Wells Fargo ad. So Firefox, which is a very privacy-forward browser, is turning on DNS over HTTPS, basically encrypting your searches. The problem with that, and this is why it's controversial, A, it prevents a lot of filtering. In the UK, they hate it because they do filtering. They try to filter pornography out, and they can't see what you're searching for. So they can't filter it. So they hate it. They hate it in Australia, same reason. They're going to hate it in the U.S., same reason. They want to know what you're doing. And they want to control what internet sites you go to. There's another side that's a little controversial, and Firefox is turning this on by default, but somebody's got to provide this phone book service. If it's not your internet service provider, who? And in this case, Firefox is using a commercial company called Cloudflare to do that. So all that information, instead of going to your ISP, is going to Cloudflare. They're getting all that information. Now, Cloudflare's promise, we don't sell that. But they do use it for their commercial purposes because their business is speeding up websites all over the world, keeping them safe from attacks. And so they like to know more about how people use the internet, so it's of value to them. That's why they give this service away. But Firefox is kind of just passing along that information to another company now. And in most cases, you won't even look at the setting and see it. So it's a little controversial, this DNS over HTTPS, or DOH. I use it, but I agree. I understand why it's an issue. There are other ways to do this. DNS crypt, encrypted DNS is another way to do it, and probably a preferable way to do it. But it's just not implemented widely, so we'll see. It's complicated. Most people just say, I just want to go to the web. Please just let me use my computer. I don't need to know this, Leo. You're just making that sound complicated. 8888 Ask Leo, that's the phone number. I did promise I would talk about what I might be doing to replace TiVo, something with a high spousal acceptance factor. I'll do that when we come back. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, 8888. Ask Leo. Most people use their cable company DVR. If you're going to record shows, I think increasingly people don't use DVRs anymore. It's kind of going the way of the VHS, VCR recorder, right? Because everything's on demand. If you have a cable company, if you have a cable subscription, you can just go and say, well, I want to see the show I didn't see last night. I don't have to record it. I just want to go see it. On demand is increasingly taking over, but there are still times, especially with live events, sporting events, things like that. They're not on demand. You want to record them. So So I use a TiVo, and I think the TiVo is better than the DVR, the cable company DVR. I just like the interface. I think it's a really good product. I've used it for almost 2 decades now. I mean, really great product. They got sold, new company bought them. I'm not sure I'm crazy about what the new company's doing. You heard me say earlier, one of them died. It's expensive. The hardware is expensive. You got to go to the cable company if you're on cable and get a cable card for it. That costs money. You got to rent that. At least you can get rid of the cable company's boxes because I don't think those are very good. And then, you got to buy a subscription to the cable guide. That's not free, and that could be a monthly fee or a lifetime fee, which is couple $100. It adds up. I'm really intrigued about doing this, rolling my own. Wouldn't you love to get rid of the cable company, first of all? Wouldn't you just love that? Just give me an internet connection, right? Just give me an internet. Now, if you have an antenna, if you live within range of the local TV signals, that's the best deal in the world. That's free. Remember we used to watch TV free? Remember that? You have a little rabbit ear with a tinfoil flag on it. You put it on top of the set. You adjust it, and you can watch Channel 5. That's so cool, right? Three Stooges on Channel 54. That was awesome. Cable kind of made that go away, but it's still there, at least for a while. TV stations still broadcasting through the air. So if you've got that, what you need is a TV tuner box that can tie into something that can record it and can save it. It could be your computer. I'm looking at a box that works with my cable card, but the company Silicon Dust makes a variety of these boxes, either for cord cutters, so you don't have cable but you have an antenna, or if you've got cable. And I've been waiting because they said it's going to come out this year, and it hasn't come out yet. The HD Home Run Prime 6. So as soon as it comes out, now again, I told my wife, I am not disconnecting the TiVos. Do not worry, honey. The voice will be exactly where you left it. All your files are exactly where you left them. But I'm going to slowly sneak this thing in, and we're going to see how this works. Here's the theory. This is why I like this idea. You get one of these boxes, not one for every TV, just one. You connect it to your cable. You put the cable card in here, or if you have an antenna, you get the one that works with the antenna. The one I'm looking at has 6 tuners, so you can record 6 different shows at the same time if you want. You connect it also, this is the key, to your internet. Your house's internet connection, right? So anywhere in the house, this device can be programmed. You can watch shows on it. Plus, it's online, so anywhere outside the house, you can surf to you got to set this up, but you can surf to it. I want to tie it in with Plex, which I should mention is a sponsor of some of our shows, but I want to tie it in with Plex because you can use it with Plex, plug it into the Plex box, save all the TV shows there. The Plex box organizes it, makes it visible on the Plex app on everything, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, your smartphone, your tablet. So now suddenly, see, this seems like a good solution. Of course, as soon as I implement it, I'll find out what's wrong with it. But it seems like a good idea. Plug this thing into my cable, use the cable card, plug it into my my Ethernet, my network. Lisa will be able to, on any TV, we'll put a little Roku on every TV, and on any TV, she just fires up the Plex app. All her shows are there. She can set new recordings. One box, one device, no monthly fee, no lifetime subscription or anything. Seems like a good idea. What could possibly go wrong? This all happened because one of my TiVos died, and I thought, I've spent hundreds of dollars for this lifetime subscription, and that lifetime is over. That's no fun. So this is possible to do this, but not having done it, I can't report on how easy or effective it is. So I'll get back to you. I'm just waiting. Silicon Dust has not yet come out with this box that I want to use. When they do, they said sometime 2019. Soon. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Oh, they do charge but how much is their subscription, Mike? It's not as much as TiVo is it? Never doing lifetime again, that's for sure. Not out of time to tell you about our great sponsors, LastPass. We had so much fun in Boston this week. Went to LastPass World Headquarters. Had a great panel. Steve Gibson joined me. Bill Cheswick, the legendary security guru. Jerry Buchelt, who's the CISO for LogMeIn. We talked about authentication. We talked about why passwords are so terrible, what's coming next, and we talked about LastPass. I am a big fan of LastPass. As you know, I started using it when they first came out 10 years ago now. It's the 10th anniversary of LastPass, 2009. And I use it for the reason you should use it. I had too many passwords. I couldn't remember them. And at the time, I was reusing passwords. I got my, I got my whatever, mother's maiden name and birth date, and I just used that. Actually, I wish mine were that good. I was using Monkey123. Turns out, one of the top 10 passwords. Yeah, nothing if not original. Anyway, LastPass came along, and I love it because it generates long, strong passwords that are completely unmemorable, but I don't have to remember them because they store them in the encrypted LastPass vault. It works on every device, iOS, Android, Mac, Windows, Linux, in every browser. It automatically fills in the fields. It couldn't be easier to use. And now, with their security audit, I've gotten rid of all the Monkey123 passwords, replaced them with good, long, unique passwords. All I have to remember is the master password that unlocks my vault. And by the way, LastPass does not know that. They can't get into my vault, so don't lose your master password. Your password vault's decrypted only on your device, so no one can get it except you. Turn on two-factor, you'll make it even more secure. And, of course, LastPass supports all of that. I love LastPass so much, we started a few years ago to use it for our business, too, for TWIT, LastPass Enterprise. And that is because even though I have good password hygiene, my passwords are safe. I know my employees maybe didn't know how to do this. In fact, we give every employee, as a benefit of employment, a LastPass Personal for them. But they also use the LastPass Enterprise at work. The new expanded business lineup, Jerry was talking about this, it's going to improve security across your company, make life easier for your users. Single sign-on is huge. SAML, they call it. This is kind of amazing because it's both more secure and more convenient. That seems like it's impossible. LastPass Enterprise includes single sign-on for 1,200 apps. And it's easy for your employees because there's a getting started guide for each app, so it's very straightforward. They're also adding something called MFA, multi-factor authentication. It uses biometrics, face, fingerprint, that kind of thing, but also contextual factors like your location to know that you really are who you say you are. This is what we were talking about, is how hard it is to do authentication right and how well LastPass does it. The new LastPass Identity, a combination of LastPass Enterprise and LastPass MFA, from single sign-on and password management to adaptive authentication, LastPass gives you granular control and frictionless access to users in one simple, secure solution. Why aren't you using it for your business? And do that security challenge. First thing, make sure all your passwords are up to snuff. LastPass.com/twit. Thank you, LastPass, for letting us come out there. We had a great time. We're making a special Twit special out of the event. I'll let you know when that comes out. And you need LastPass at home, at the office, LastPass.com/twit. Thank you, LastPass. They were great hosts. Really was a lot of fun. I work hard for the money. Or is this Lady Laura's song? This might be your song, huh, Lady Laura? 88. Oh, yeah, she says. 8888, ask Leo. That's the phone number. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. And we're going to go back to the phones. George Palmdale. Hello, George.
Good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
I am well. How are you?
Oh, I'm a little frustrated by my fancy new Apple Watch thing.
Oh, no. What's going on?
Well, it's just cute as can be, but I like to have the local weather on here.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. What does it do? Oh, instead of working. So do you have, how do you have weather? You have a complication, or what are you doing on the weather?
I think complication is their technical jargon.
Yes. So on the Apple Watch, you have a watch face. And depending on the watch face, you also have little doohickeys you can change. Those are the complications. And actually, Apple got it from the watch makers themselves, back from horologists back in the day. But the idea is, so I have a little complication here. And you're right. My complication says it's 79 degrees, but when I tap it and it opens the weather, oh, yeah, it is 79 degrees. It's right. Sometimes it gets out of whack. But that's the local weather. So what's going on with yours?
Well, what you described is what I expect.
Yes.
However, and I use my iPhone 6 here to manipulate the thing.
Yeah.
And I've turned it off, turned it back on, put it in a different location. And when I tap on the complication, it does not show me the temperature. And I can scroll down and look at everything else just fine.
Yeah.
But it does not give me the temperature.
What is it? Is it just blank? So there's a number of, so there's a couple of things that could be going on here. First of all, there are a couple of different weather complications. There's the one you want is weather temp. So that'll give you the temperature. It also gives you a little more information about the weather. And if you tap it, it'll give you the full weather forecast on the watch. Now, of course, for this to work, you have to give it location access. Your weather app has to have location access on your phone because it's getting that information from the phone, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I actually am not using that one. I'm using a third-party weather app that I kind of prefer. There are a lot of them. Weather is one of those things that everybody likes to talk about, even though nobody can do anything about it. But I use Dark Sky. And that's my favorite weather app. They also have a complication. It's not, I don't think it's free, but it's not very expensive. It'd certainly be worth at least downloading and looking at. And I can see the correct weather. I could see the maximum, the minimum. If I tap on it, I'll get a forecast. I get a feels like temperature. I get hour by hour. Dark Sky is a great app, too, because you can get weather maps and so forth on it. It's one of my favorite weather apps. So you might take a look at that. Remember, though, without location access, it's not going to know where you are, so it'll give you the weather for Cupertino, which isn't very useful unless you're in Cupertino, where Apple's headquarters is.
Well, the question, Does it get this information from the cell phone?
Yes. Unless, well, that's not strictly true if you bought the Apple Watch with LTE and you're paying an extra $10 a month to your cell phone provider for independent access for the watch, in which case it can get it from without the phone being nearby. You still have to have an iPhone to use the watch, but when I if you go to the gym or something and you leave your phone at home, the watch still tells me the weather because I have the LTE version. Did you get the LTE version?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
it costs more, so I bet you didn't. You have to specifically order it. And then you'll also have to sign up. I mean, not just costs more up front, you also have to pay $10 a month more to your carrier because it has a little SIM in it.
Yes.
And then you can answer phone. The reason I do it, I can answer the phone on my watch, and I want to feel like Dick Tracy.
Yes, that I can do.
Yeah. If you can do it when you're away from your phone, then you have it.
Yeah. Well, this weather app used to work.
I would check. Yeah, remember. Now, the other thing is, did you get the new iPhone yet?
No.
Because one thing that's happened with the new version of iOS, 13.x, is, I think this is a great thing. Android's starting to do it too with Android 10. It will say to you, hey, this app's been getting your location. In fact, Apple shows you a map. You see those points? This app just sent those points to the mothership, to the home office. Do you want them to keep doing that? And then you can say, yeah, always allow it, or only allow it when the app's open, or what is going on? Turn that off. So location access is considered by Apple to be an important part of privacy. So go into the settings for that app on your phone. You can do it on the watch, too. I think there's location settings on the watch now, too. And make sure that it has location settings turned on, because otherwise it won't know where you are. It could also be, remember that the weather data isn't, inherent to the watch. It doesn't know what temperature it is. It has to go online. That's why you either have to have a phone or an LTE connection and connect a weather service. This is another thing I've noticed. Lots of weather services are less than reliable. So I don't know if the Apple Weather app will let you choose the weather service. Many apps do, and try one that works. My favorite is Met Norway. It's the Norwegian National Weather Service, but they seem to be down a lot. I don't like Yahoo Weather. I find that to be completely unreliable. Play around with it, and a Dark Sky and other, good third-party apps will let you choose the weather source, and that could also be the problem. Even if you have connectivity, you have location turned on, everything is set right, and you still don't have temperature or weather. Could be it couldn't get that data from the server. That's not at all unusual. So in the watch, my watch, in the settings, weather, default city, choose current location because you want it to be where you are. You don't want weather for Cupertino. On the phone, go to settings, privacy, location services, make sure location services are enabled, and then go into the individual settings for the weather app. Make sure it's been given that. Dr. Mom says she likes Weather Underground, which is nice because they support weather stations, so you might even get hyper-local weather. Weather, it's funny. I've always observed that the deep, difficult topics like politics, religion, it's hard to, maybe have an opinion in that regard. The smaller the topic, the less important it is. Like whether you pronounce it GIF or GIF, the more people have an opinion because you don't need any expertise. Everybody loves weather because we all can look out the window and say, well, it's sunny. We love to complain about the weatherman or our weather apps. There are dozens, literally, of weather apps available on the iPhone and the Apple Watch. And everybody has a favorite. Everybody's got a special way of doing it. My watch does tell me right now it's 79 degrees outside. It's got the weather. When I hit the complication, the little doohickey on the dial, it opens weather up. It does that all properly. I'm using Dark Sky. I have location turned on for it. And, that'd be my suggestion is make sure all of that's okay. I kind of like an Apple Watch for one other reason. It's always correct. You never have to set it, right? because it's always getting that information from your phone, which is always correct. Remember in the old days, we used to have to set watches? Oh, my watch is 1 minute slow. It doesn't come up anymore. It's like your phone. It's getting it from the air. And I guess I'm hoping most carriers are pretty accurate in their clocks. That's another thing. Like weather, I think I have a thing about time. Maybe because I'm always running out of it. Maybe because they're always playing that sound telling me stop talking. Maybe it's just something unique to me. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, 8888 Ask Leo. More of your calls right after this. Everybody, get down on the floor. Boogie, oogie, oogie. Like you can't boogie no more. Dick DeBartolo, Mad Magazine's Magazine's Magus writer, and our Gizwiz. Hello, Dickie D.
Leo, how are you doing?
I'm clapping my hands. Everybody
I can see
dance.
It. That's great.
So Dick joins us each week. He is, of course, legendary as Mad's maddest writer for more than 5 decades. But he also has a sideline, a side hustle. He loves gizmos. He is the gizmo wizard.
I do. I have something that's really neat if you have a mobility problem.
Okay.
This was something I saw at the Pepcom holiday event, and it was developed by a gentleman who was a polio victim but travels a lot. And he wanted a mobility scooter that he could take everywhere, including on the airplane.
Oh.
So he designed one. It's called the Otto, ATTO. And when I first walked up to the booth, I said to the woman, that is the most tech suitcase I've ever seen. And she said, well, this opens into an electric scooter.
Oh, that's so cool.
I said, what? So she unfolded it, and I sat in it, and I just drove a few feet because the place was crowded. It is really ingenious. It divides, for airplane travel, it divides into 2 parts so that each one is under 40 pounds, so it can go into the overhead bin.
Clever.
It is on the expensive side. It's $27.99.
But insurance might cover it. You might well get it covered.
Yeah, it is so sleek. The weight capacity is 220 pounds. It goes 4 miles an hour. It goes 10 miles on a single charge.
Do you use it to get around Disneyland? Disneyland, I mean?
Yeah. Not enough room to open it in my studio. You know, my studio.
It's a little small, isn't it?
It's a little small. It hits the desk on one side. It's not like your place out there. But just from the look of it and how easily she unfolded it, I thought, this, if a business person where transportation is important and they want to have something to go with it, and they have a budget, or as you said, it's possible that some part of your medical plan would cover it. I think it's an ingenious idea.
ATTO from Moving Life. And of course, if you go to gizwiz.biz, Dick's website, and click the Gizwiz visits the tech guy, he's got the link and all the information and the video and all. This is you know what? That's not a gizmo. That is a great thing. That is awesome.
I think so too. Yeah. I was really impressed by it. They put a lot of effort into it, and it looks it.
Nice. How did your party go?
Oh my God! Well, Myra's never left, so that part's good.
She moved in.
She moved in. It was great. We had a lot of fun. Mo made souvenirs for everybody. Made little flashlights with logos on them.
Oh.
We had really a great time.
Dick has an annual kind of get together of all the Gizwiz fans. This year, instead of at the boat basin where it was probably a little chilly, you had it inside Disneyland, where the weather's always a perfect 80 degrees.
We had it in the backyard.
Oh, did you?
Because it was 80 degrees. Yeah, we moved it up a month so that we could do it outside.
Nice.
We had that thing we did on the show a couple months ago where you could blow up 40 balloons at one time.
Did you do that?
Yeah, we did that. So it was great fun.
It was a chance to test out all the gadgets he reports on.
Exactly. That's exactly what we did. We brought out a lot of gadgets. And we played What the Heck Is It?
And I saw pictures of Chad Johnson, your co-host on the GizWiz podcast. I saw he was there.
He flew in for that.
Roberto came out. I saw he was there. I saw a lot of pictures. It looked like it was a great party.
We had fun.
Very nice.
And
very nice. Dick DeBartolo, go to the website gizwiz.biz to see the Atto personal mobility scooter. You can also go to gizwiz.biz and click the What the Heck Is It link for a chance to win an autographed copy of Mad Magazine. Identify some crazy gizmo or gadget. You don't have to be right. In fact, clever is better than right. And you could win a Mad Magazine. And, of course, this great podcast is at gizwiz.tv. Dick, we'll see you next week.
Perfect. Thanks, pal.
Thank you, Dickie D. Let me see if I can get a couple more calls in the show. And we're going to start with Bill in Santa Clarita. Hello, Bill.
Hey, how you doing, Leo?
I'm great, Bill. How are you?
Pretty good. Hey, I want to get a smartphone, but I've been using a flip phone my whole life because I always like Star Trek. And I
those Star Trek tacks are great. They have a new flip phone with Android on it. Did you see that? I don't know if I would recommend it. Yeah, but if you really like your StarTAC, Motorola is making a kind of a new one. What is the? Let me see if I can find the name of it. Honestly, if I were you, I wouldn't do it. The thing to understand, though,
actually, a smartphone was what you're saying.
Yeah, but the thing to understand is it's not really a phone. Apple just had an hour-and-a-half event talking about the new iPhones, and except for the name iPhone, they didn't mention making phone calls at all.
Exactly.
It's
texting, right?
It's a computer in your pocket. Well, it's texting, surfing, email. Honestly, the number one feature of most smartphones these days is the camera. It's really a pocket camera attached to a very fast, always-on, internet-on computer.
Yeah.
If you just wanted to make phones, your flip phone's probably the best solution. The battery life's longer.
Exactly. Could I tell you something real quick?
Sure.
That you might be interested in?
Yeah.
About flip phones. I actually just invented a new phone.
You just invented it?
Yeah, and I wanted you to hear about it. I've been trying to. It's hard to get a hold of you. I have a new patent. Check this out. It unfolds just like a wallet.
A trifold phone.
And it sits. It sits as compact. It'll fit in your pocket, right? Well, here's the best thing. It opens with 3 screens.
Oh.
In phone mode. But check this out again.
Yeah.
As a mini laptop, 2 individual screens, and a keyboard below.
You're going to have a little bit of a headwind. I'm glad you got the patent. Was the patent granted? Because, of course, Microsoft just announced that Duo phone that opens up. That's a dual screen phone. And I think it's Xiaomi that has a trifold phone. I have a feeling these big companies that have manufacturing facilities might have a little bit of a head start on you. But, you could probably try to enforce the patent against them, maybe make a little money on the side. Hang on the line. If you're on the line, we're going to take more calls in just a little bit. I got to thank Lady Laura, our musical director, our new musical director. She took the baton from Big Pee Wee. Do you ever hear from him anymore, Laura? Has he just disappeared? He's ghosted us? He's ghosted us. It's over. But Laura, I'm so glad you're here. Thanks also to Kim Schaffer. She answers the phone for us. Does such a great job. Of course, most of all, and I never thank John Slanina, our studio manager, but he, behind the scenes, does a great job keeping everything running. Thank you, John. Most of all, though, I want to thank you because, well, it wouldn't be no point in all these people doing all this good work if you weren't listening. So thank you for joining us this week. I hope you'll come back next week. And again, if you're on the line, I'm going to keep taking some calls for another half hour, 45 minutes, because we're recording ahead for my vacation. I like to give you a fresh show every week. Leo Laporte, the Tech Guy. Have a great geek week. Well, that's it for the Tech Guy Show for today. Thank you so much for being here. And don't forget, TWIT, T-W-I-T. It stands for This Week in Tech, and you'll find it at twit.tv, including the podcasts for this show. We talk about Windows on Windows Weekly, Macintosh on Mac Break Weekly, iPads, iPhones, Apple Watches on iOS Today, security on Security Now. I mean, I can go on and on. and on. And, of course, the big show every Sunday afternoon, This Week in Tech. You'll find it all at twit.tv. And I'll be back next week with another great Tech Guys show. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time.